Hello guys and welcome back to the local SCP researchers. I am Dr. Church.
And Dr. Ireland.
And today we'll be focusing on SCP-035, also known as the Possessive Mask. This is a Keter class anomaly and one of the more renowned and popular among the Foundation. So sit back, relax, and we'll go through the entire file of 035. Special containment procedures. SCP-035 is to be kept in a hermetically sealed glass case, no fewer than 10 centimeters, 4 inches thick. This case is to be contained within a steel, iron, and lead-shielded room at all times. Doors are to be triple locked at all times, with the exception of allowing personnel in or out. No fewer than 2 armed guards are posted at any time. Guards must remain outside at all times and are not allowed within the containment room under any circumstances. A trained psychologist is to remain on site at all times. Research personnel are not to touch 035 at any time. 035 must be moved to a new sealed case every 2 weeks. The previous case must be disposed via SCP-101 and it shows no adverse reactions to 035's corruption. Anyone who comes into contact with 035 when it is in possession of a host is to be given immediate psychological evaluation. Description. 035 appears to be a white porcelain comedy mask, although at times it will change to tragedy. In these events, all existing visual records such as photographs, video footage, even illustrations of 035 automatically change to reflect its new appearance. A highly corrosive and degenerative viscous liquid constantly seeps from the eyes and mouth holes of 035. Anything coming into contact with this substance slowly decays over a period of time, depending on the material, until it has decayed completely into a pool of the original contaminant. Glass seems to reacts the slowest to the effects of the item, hence the construction choice of its immediate container. Living organisms that come into contact with the substance react much in the same way, with no chance of recovery. Origin of the liquid is unknown. Liquid is only visible from the front and does not emerge or is even visible from the other side. Interesting. Subjects within 1.5 to 2 meters, 5 to 6 feet of 035 or in visual contact with it experience a strong urge to put it on. When 035 is placed on the face of an individual, an alternate brainwave pattern from 035 overlaps with the original host, effectively snuffing it out and causing brain death to the subject. Subject then claims to be the consciousness contained within 035. The bodies of possessed subjects decay at a highly accelerated rate, eventually becoming a little more than mummified corpses. Nevertheless, 035 has demonstrated the ability to remain in cognitive control of the body, experiencing severe structural damage, even if the subject's body literally decays to the point where motion is not mechanically possible. No effect is to be found when placed on the face of an animal. Conversations with 035 have proven to be informative. Researchers have learned various details about other SCP objects and history in general, as 035 claims to have been at many momentous events. 035 displays a highly intelligent and charismatic personality, both amenable and flattering to all those who speak with it. 035 has scored the 99th percentile on all intelligence and aptitude tests administered to it, and appears to have a photographic memory. However, psychological analysis has discovered that 035 to possess a highly manipulative nature capable of forcing sudden and profound changes to interviewer's psychological state. 035 has proven to be highly sadistic, prompting some to commit suicide and transforming others into near mindless servants with linguistic persuasion alone. 035 has stated that it has an intimate knowledge of the workings of the human mind and implied that it could change anyone's view if given enough time. Additional. 035 was found in a sealed crypt in an abandoned house in Venice in 18 redacted. Addendum 035-01. 035 has been found to be able to possess anything that is a humanoid shape, including mannequins, corpses, and statues. 035 has been able to motivate all into movement, removing the need to expose live subjects to 035. Still, anything it possesses inevitably decays into motionlessness. Addendum 035-2. SCP-035 has facilitated an escape attempt, convincing several of the research staff to aid in its bidding for freedom. Insurcation failed. All staff that have been in contact with 035 have been terminated, and mandatory psychiatric evaluations have been implied for all personnel coming into contact with 035. Addendum 035-03. It has been determined that 035 is capable of telepathy, whether or not it possesses a host, even penetrating into the subconscious of others, and using the knowledge it finds to its advantage. Extreme caution is advised when choosing subjects to converse with 035. Addendum 035-4. SCP-035 has expressed an interest in other SCPs, most notably SCP-4715 and SCP-682. Dr. Redacted has expressed worry that 035 should 035 bond with either, their regenerative qualities would negate its corruption and would give it a permanent host. 035-05. After many more attempts and after reviewing 035's incident record, High Command has ordered it to be permanently sealed within the facility and prohibited from being allowed any more hosts. Several personnel have protested against this, with some even erupting into violence. As a direct result, all personnel that have come into contact with 035 have been terminated. Going forward, all personnel that deal with 035 are to be rotated frequently, and contact is to be limited even to its dormant state, to as little as possible. Addendum 035-06. Personnel within 10 meters of 035 have recently reported feeling unease, stating that it can hear unintelligible whispers. Several others have suffered from severe migraines. Object has been monitored, but there is no change in its dormant behavior, and no sounds have been recorded. The motion to reinstate 035's post privileges has been brought up once more, if only a temporary basis to discover these new changes to the object's behavior. Denied. Addendum 035-07. The walls of 035's containment cell have suddenly begun secreting a black substance. Tests on the substance have revealed it to be human blood. Although highly contaminated with several foreign and unknown agents, the substance is corrosive, having a pH of 4.5. And prolonged exposure to the walls has proven to be detrimental to their structural integrity. More notably, it is seen to be forming patterns on the wall. Several segments seem to be paragraphs in various languages, including Italian, Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit. Translation is pending. Other segments appear to be diagrams depicting ritualistic sacrifice and mutilation, often for the arcane benefit of the person committing them. Several staff members have been shocked to know that all the sacrifices bear an uncanny resemblance to various personnel and their loved ones, often in conflicting positions. Researchers, while in the room examining these newly formed patterns, have complained of hearing loud whispering and high-pitched, unnerving laughter at irregular intervals. Personnel in the sections working daily near around 037's containment unit have suffered catastrophic moral damage, with an all-time high in suicide rates in staff that are in that area, whether or not they have ever had contact with 035. The only change in 035's dormant behavior is regarding its contained glass case. Degradation of the case has increased to a high degree, enough that the glass will occasionally shatter, causing a wide dispersal of 035's contaminant. That occurs quite often between the most unfortunate times, so far resulting in 6 casualties and 3 fatalities of both staff and cleanup staff. Interesting. Addendum 035-08. In light of mass suicides and homicide of members of the research team tasked with translating the passages garnered by 035's containment cell, the moral damage in the area, and general loss of staff dealing with 035 to either death or insanity, it has been decided to coat the inner and outer walls of his containment cell with SCP-148, which has proved well in the containment of SCP-132. See document 132-01. In order to hopefully block out the high levels of negativity being emitted by 035. 035-09. The use of 148 has worked well, causing moral and suicide rates to return to near pre-SCP-035 rates. However, the material appears to facilitate the negativity within the cell, causing a veritable greenhouse effect inside. Personnel inside the cell have stated that they feel a heavy sense of dread, fear, anger, and general depression, as well as hearing constant, nearly inaudible whispering upon immediate entry. A prolonged stay causes several migraines, suicidal tendencies, heavy hemorrhaging of blood vessels around the eyes and inside the mouth and nose, general hostility towards others, and for the whispering to increase to almost deafening volumes, intersected by the constant mocking laughter. Exposure of more than 3 hours inevitably results in the subject falling into a deep psychosis and attempting to harm either themselves or others. Most spoke in Latin or Greek, despite the fact that several did not previously know how to speak said languages beforehand. The presence of blood in both word and diagram formations have increased disproportionately, the walls becoming cluttered and the formations beginning to overlap each other. The substance has proven to be both difficult to clean and even more corrosive than was originally recorded, with a pH of roughly around 2.4. General estimation gives the current walls a life of 2 months before they need to be replaced. It is becoming gradually more and more difficult to contain 035, and the debate to reinstate its host privileges is once again denied. 035-10. The walls, ceilings, and floors of 035's containment cell are now been completely saturated in blood. The personnel entering and guarding the area must wear full hazmat protection suits. Constant cleaning efforts are being instated. Addendum 035-11. The magnitude, intensity, and recurrence of the phenomena that occurs when 035's containment cell has increased to an alarming degree. The cell door has been known to become locked on its own accord while personnel are inside and unable to be opened for a period of time. Appendages form out of the large puddles of blood and often attempt to grab or harm personnel near them. Blurry apparitions have started appearing to staff. Electronic devices no longer work inside the cell, and the light cannot be turned on. Though there are no physical reasons why it does not work, forcing those to enter use non-electrical based light sources. Cleaning measures have no discernible effect on the cell, and the walls are degrading at a very high rate, forcing them to be replaced within a week at best, although the blood makes it nearly impossible to properly achieve this. SCP-035 has been moved to a new cell entirely, with the old one sealed off and disengaged from the rest of the facility. End of report.
That was a long one.
Mm-hmm.
Very much.
I was like, I knew quite a bit about this anomaly beforehand, but I didn't know how much its cell changed just by being in there.
Yeah.
That is very, very strange.
Very interesting.
I will say there were many interviews that were conducted before his host privileges were completely denied, which, as you can see, for good reason.
Yeah.
Then again, that does make me intrigued whether or not, if we somehow gave his host privileges back, if these effects would cease entirely. But then again, the risk of another containment breach, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, because with how it ended, with the having to change entire
cells.
Yeah, and having to disconnect an entire area or cell.
Disengage an entire area.
Yeah.
Like what people would do when there's a biohazard, they completely just quarantine it off.
Yeah, because of a denying of host privileges could get up all the way to that point is insane. It's crazy.
Then again, the O5 know what's best. They make heartless decisions, sure, but when it comes between normal humanity and complete and utter destruction, I think it's completely justified.
Yep.
And this will cover our insight into SCP-035, the Possessive Mask. Tune in next week where we discuss SCP-2030, also known as Laugh is Fun, a Keter class anomaly. And we will see you guys next time.